Hello, everybody, and welcome to Music Will's Songwriting Masterclass. My name is Mary Claxton, and I'm the Director of Teaching and Learning for Music Will. We are a nonprofit that creates free music learning resources for students and teachers, promoting student creativity and leadership through music that matters to people. Today, we are celebrating our songwriting exhibition and the over 200 songs that were submitted by over 400 music makers all over the country. The creativity and variety were on full display. We heard students from pre-K through college. We heard songs about pineapple bananas, early mornings, fishing, love, heartbreak, self-worth, and so much more. And as we celebrate all the new songs that are out in the world now, we also want to think about what comes next for these young songwriters. And for that, we have two very special guests with us to talk about the journey of songwriting, offer some advice and encouragement, and listen to some of these newly crafted songs. With that, it is my pleasure to introduce Allison Russell and JT Nero. So first, Allison, Montreal-born and Nashville-based. Allison Russell is a Grammy, Juno, Americana, and Folk Awards-winning artist, actor, author, songwriter, producer, human rights advocate, survivor, and mother. Her debut solo album, Outside Child, was released in 2021, followed by The Returner in 2023. Allison co-founded, recorded, and toured internationally with the bands Poe Girl, Birds of Chicago, and Our Native Daughters. She's a member of Joni Mitchell's jam band, Russell's ensemble, the Rainbow Coalition, opened for Hosier's Unreal Unearthed tour throughout 2024. She recently made her Broadway debut, starring as Persephone in Hadestown. She's writing a book. You're busy. And I want to introduce JT as well. He's a songwriter, a singer, a poet, a producer. He first came to national attention as one half of the Americana duo, Birds of Chicago, along with, you guessed it, Allison Russell. He went on to co-write and co-produce Russell's two critically acclaimed solo albums. Along with Drew Lindsay, he's one half of Dim Star, a production and writing team. And his new album, recorded at Good Wishes in Nashville, is scheduled for release in 2026. So welcome, Allison and JT. Thank you so much for being here.
We're honored to be here. Thank you for having us.
Hey, Mary.
Yeah.
Such an honor to be here.
Well, I would love to start with just hearing a little bit about your background with songwriting and just getting some ideas. We have students, like I said, like at kind of all levels of this process. We have people who are just first starting to experiment with their creativity and maybe they don't even like feel like they're songwriters, or they can claim that title. And then we have people who've been doing this for years and it's something that's really meaningful to them. So I would love to know how you first started writing songs and how your process has changed over the years.
Allie, you want to go first?
Sure. Well, I think I was always writing little songs. Melodies were always kind of coming through. My mom played piano, and I used to hide underneath the piano and listen to her play. And I'm a big nerd, and I read a lot. And when I was a kid, I would put poems that I liked to melodies. So those were my first attempts at songwriting, putting other people's poems to melody. And then slowly I started writing my own poetry, and then eventually wedding the poems and the melodies together. And I've been doing that ever since, on my own and collaboratively as well. JT and I do a lot of co-writing, but we each write on our own too and write with other artists. Collaboration is kind of the lifeblood of art to me. That's what keeps me inspired and engaged, and just always listening and always writing.
Who are some of those first poets? I'm curious.
Okay, well, I was obsessed with the Norton Anthology of English, Volume 1, the child ballads at the beginning of that, because I'm a nerd. And
I mean, it sounds pretty cool to me.
I love, but you know what is so cool to me about that is that those I don't know how many of y'all are familiar with it, but the child ballads were sung. They were oral tradition songs throughout the British Isles that Lord Child or somebody went around and recorded, sort of like the British Alan Lomax. But
Sure.
it was put down as poetry, so a lot of those melodies were lost because it was before there was recording technology. But I think there's something so beautiful about these distilled lyrics that got passed down through generations of humans singing them, and that I then found them and felt inspired. Melody was kind of called out of the words back to me. Yeah,
That's
those
beautiful.
were some of the early, and Alfred Lord Tennyson, and I mean, just bell hooks. I put bell hooks poems to melodies, and yeah, I was just a big nerd.
I love all of that. How about you, JT? What was your sort of origin story?
Well, literary, early literary credentials are less ironclad than Allie's. Similar arc, though. I guess I consider myself a poet first, and then and started wedding them to melodies, and then eventually playing guitar later. I was a hip hop kid. I am what's the word? I'm old. And so
First
I was,
generation hip hop kid.
yeah, so I was like first wave, and there was a long time where, there was a lot of identity around claiming a certain kind of music. It's actually, that's a larger conversation. I love that about this era of kids, is they're so genreless. But I was
Genre
definitely on
fluid.
the the hip hop hill was the hill I was going to die on. And so I would actively try to say I didn't like anything else. But my parents, thank God, had a really diverse and great record collection. So was seeping in. But all to say, it was words and rhythm first, and then I sort of blossomed into the wider spectrum of writing. And a quick, also just a note about the fact that acknowledge that there's writers at all stages of their journey in songwriting here. And I think that is like what is the most profoundly like equalizing and community building thing in songwriting is every time you finish a song and you're starting a new one, you're right back to ground zero. You're right back to that terrifying, exhilarating moment of what am I going to do? And that's the thing that keeps me coming back every time. So, and I think any songwriter who you can talk to, a songwriter who's been doing it for 60 years, and they will probably tell you the same thing. And I love that about it.
Agreed.
Yeah, definitely. So I feel like you've touched on this in the first question, but when you think about yourself and your personal identity or identities, how do they come out in your songwriting? Like, how do your songs become like a little piece of you?
I think we can't help but have it come through, in different ways. Sometimes it's like my first record as a solo in name only, really, because you never make an album by yourself. Even if you're totally alone in a room somewhere, you're not in a vacuum because you're in conversation with everything that you've listened to and everything that's inspired you and all of that. And in my case, I was in a room with 14 other people, collaborating on
Sure.
putting flesh on the bones of the songs, that JT and I had co-written for what became my first solo record under my first record under my own name was called Outside Child, and it came out in 2021. And it took me a really long time to step into my own name and story because of my history. My childhood was, broken by CSA and domestic violence, and I lived unhoused for a little while in my teens, and it took me a long time to feel safe enough or confident enough to step forward in my own name and my own story. So that record ended up being very autobiographical, but that's not the way I always write. So in that sense, that album I think was very much identity forward. But I think even when we're not, we can be writing for somebody else, writing about something that has nothing to do with anything we've directly experienced, but yet I feel like who we are is always coming through in what we write, in the art we make, in the words that come through to us, and the melodies that come through to us. I think you're always present in your art, whether it is linear and direct or more amorphous and subtle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
I couldn't agree more. We should collaborate.
Oh, we have for like 20 years.
I think that, just to build on Allie's point, there's human experience, there's in human consciousness, there's a underground river that, you know, that flows through, that we're all connected to. And I do think that even when we're being, quote, autobiographical, or like consciously going into a song with the autobiographical intent. It's important to just sort of keep our eyes open outward as well, and be tapped into other experience, and always being a witness, always being just aware of what is happening outside, because sometimes that autobiographical thing can be a bit of a trap, and you feel like you need to get out from under yourself. So I just think always reminding yourself that, like, you're in this with a lot of people who are experiencing versions of what you're experiencing at any given moment. It seems like such an obvious point, but it can be a really liberating thing.
Yeah. I hear from, students and teachers sometimes that the fact that your identity and who you are, it's like inevitable that it gets into songs is like actually kind of scary. It's like because you do have to kind of be willing to pull down that curtain and say like, yeah, this is who I am. And it's like a part of myself that I like I'm comfortable sharing this with you. Do you does I'm curious if you find that co-writing and collaborating with people kind of helps you to affirm that those things about yourself are like worth sharing.
That's an interesting question. Well, I'll say two things. I don't think you have to share every song you write. I think that's the power of it too. You get to decide that. You can write just for yourself and never share it. You're not obligated to share it. If you feel compelled to share it, then there's a reason for that. And sometimes it takes songs a while to gestate. There's songs that have taken years in my case to gestate and for me to feel like I'm ready to share them. And I think that's the way of all art. Not all art is for public consumption. Some art is for us, some art is just for us, and that art is no less valid, and so I would say that I hope that that's liberatory for anyone who feels compelled to write and a drive to write and a need to write, that writing in and of itself is a worthy end. It doesn't have to be publicized. It doesn't have to be commercialized. It doesn't have to be sold. It doesn't have to be bought. You can just write, and that is of worth. So there's that. And then I think collaboration is so exciting because you get to places together that you could never get on your own. The whole really is
Mm,
greater than the sum of its parts. And I don't know that I seek validation from that so much as inspiration and
mm.
an artistic to be galvanized artistically, and to be scared a little bit because it's also scary, like for example, when I'm part of a band called Our Native Daughters with Rhiannon Giddens and Amethyst Kia and Layla McCalla, and Rhiannon invited me to do that project with them. I had become a mother. I had gone through a long dry spell of not being able to finish a song, and I was in a state of questioning whether I was even a songwriter anymore when she invited me to join that project. And it was terrifying. But I said yes because they are artists that I love so deeply and chosen sisters that I couldn't say no to it. But I also was showing up to that session, which was being funded by Smithsonian Folkways, thinking I have no idea what I have to contribute to this. And I ended up writing and co-writing 7 out of the 11 or 12 songs that are on the record. And it opened the floodgates to what then became my first solo and name record, Outside Child. So you can show up and be terrified, and that is of value too. You don't know what's going to come
Yes.
through. I think
Yeah.
with all art, there's a willingness. There is an element of fear and it's not easy. It's not easy to write. It's not easy to soul search. It's not easy to dip into the slipstream of the collective unconscious. And none of that's easy, but we do it because we're compelled to do it.
Yeah. That sounds like bravery.
You do it even though you're scared.
Yeah, definitely. So I would love to know, once you have a song draft made, how do you interact with it? I'm hearing and I love, this message. I think it's so important for us to hear. It's like, not everything you make is content. I know it's 2026. Not everything you do in your life is for content. But do you tend to just let things sit for a while after you make it? Do you go and try to play it out? What is your sort of approach when you have maybe a handful of things that you've been working on? What's your next step?
Well, I think there's It's interesting because, you know, Allie and I are a collaborative team in, you know, all phases of song making. We're we're living different realities. I'm I have some I'm home, and, you know, in my writing room and in production rooms, and Allie, more often than not, is out on the road. For me, I have a little bit of the luxury of, you know, if there's something that maybe, well, you asked specifically about once a song is finished. I think what is fascinating sometimes is if when a song is not finished, maybe you've gotten a verse and a chorus, or maybe it's even less than that. One of the things that I think is an interesting kind of exercise is just to a little bit of benign neglect, you know, like where you leave it for a minute and you let the song either refuse to go away or go away. And, you know, I've found sometimes where like there's a there's a kernel of something there, and I know, but like whatever, I'm not punching it through, and I'll just put it away. But if I find that that melody comes unbidden back to me, and I find myself wanting to sing it, and it literally won't let itself be put on the shelf, you pay attention to that, and that points to like a thing that I think is also a very freeing thing for me, is that, you know, again, so much of this is like I'm telling my story, and I'm, you know, I think it's so wonderful to remember is like once from the first note, from the first words, that from the first time you've externalized them and they're out there, it's not yours anymore. It's everybody's. And it's part of this greater slipstream of consciousness that I was talking about. And that's, to me, that's very liberating because it changes the way it's not like, oh, I have to make this thing from scratch. It's more of like, I know that song is out there and part of it has revealed itself. Now I just got to go chase down the rest of it. And so it's like you're on the hunt. It's not like, I'm I'm going to like create with a capital C. It's like, it's there. You just you gotta go get it now. And
It's
so
like
I think
it's in the marble.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
a good metaphor as well.
catch that,
For sure.
excavate it.
That's
Yeah.
exactly. And to me, that's very like, we talk about the things we keep coming back to that won't that we can't quit this gig. Like that feeling, you know, that first moment where you were like, oh, there's a whole song there. And it could be like literally just with one phrase or one tiny little fragment of a melody, but you have this sense, like just for a fleeting second, you're like, oh yeah, there's a song. And so then from that point, as you say, it's just clearing away or whatever metaphor you want to use, but you have this underlying feeling of like, you know, there's a song there. And that's I love that feeling. And doesn't mean that it's not like murder getting to it sometimes, but you know it's there. I took like 3 left turns to your original question, and I want to
But
apologize.
and
That's
well, I
fine.
think all of that is really it speaks to part of the question. I think to kind of keep going with it, once you have a song that you feel like you're ready to share in some way,
Oh yeah, the
um,
question.
you know what you do with it. I think different things for different songs. You know, there are songs I use, and I think I've gone through different phases with it throughout my life and career. When I was first starting, I did a lot of busking, and my first baby band, Pogirl, we did a lot of busking. So when we would write new songs, we would just go play them on the street or in a park and see, you know, how people reacted and who threw in the loonies and toonies, because we were in Canada, and that's what we call our dollars and our $2 coins.
Such a whimsical people.
Which songs got the loonies and toonies and which didn't, like back then, you know, when we were sort of like playing to eat and playing to, you know, to get gas in the van to go to the next like house concert or basement show that we were playing, you know. But and I still actually to some degree, I think that's like the great equalizer of like YouTube or Instagram or TikTok or, you know, wherever people are putting up new work, you know, that's a form of busking in a way, you know, where you're just like, well, I'm
Totally.
going to put this out there and like see how people respond. when you want that kind of feedback. And so that's like a lot of people are comfortable and into putting their process up on socials, which is totally valid too. I think I am someone who in the band stresses my band out because I will often want to play new songs before everybody feels like they know them, like just to see what happens. And because I feel like you learn so much from playing a song. You know, for example, we opened for Mavis Staples at the Beacon Theater here in New York on February 28th, which was such a dream. Just she's like the queen of my heart. And there was a song that Nora Jones and I had just sung together, and we played it, we played it live for the first time there, like not totally fully knowing it yet, but it was really, really fun to do that, and it was a loving, embracing audience that would like go on that journey with us,
Yeah.
So it felt safe to do it there. I wouldn't necessarily always do that, it felt great to do that with Mavis and with Nora. But I think different songs, different things. With JT and I, because of our very long collaborative history, we will often share baby songs with each other and for feedback. And same with Drew, our brother Drew, well, JT's brother Drew, but my brother Drew now too, through chosen family.
He's the least important member of our collaboration. That's why he's not here.
He's very important. They're brothers, and so they talk like that about each other. But he's very important. And so they're definitely like two of the people that I will like share early songs with. And I have that with my sisters and our native daughters too, like when we're working on projects together. I think having trusted people, artists that you love, whose feedback you love and whose art you feel a connection to, then it's great to have like those trusted people that you can share things with, I think too.
Totally. I love that. I'll ask one more question before we kind of dive into some listening here, which is, what is it like to perform a song that you've written like a whole bunch, like hundreds, thousands of times, to like keep kind of revisiting that moment, that feeling that
I love
Gotta
it
take that one.
personally. I love it because it's never the same, because the audience is never the same. And a show, when you play something live, it's not linear, it's a circle, right? Like I always talk about this, my ensemble, we call ourselves the Rainbow Coalition, and we actually stand in a semicircle on stage. And the audience is the other half of that circle, they complete it. And so anytime we're playing a song, it's not the same. The song is never the same. Like the recording is an archive, and it's sort of, it's the dragonfly in amber. It's the static thing that it exists. It's out there. That's great. People can engage with that. But when a song is played live, it has a new DNA almost each time and a new life each time. And it's not exactly the same anytime that you play it. And I love that. And I love the alchemy and the magic of that. And the way that the people that choose to come and listen and engage with it actually affect the DNA of the song themselves. It's a collaborative experience to play music live and to listen to music live. It's a circuit, it's a conduit, it's a collective experience that I'm totally hooked on. So I love it. I'm always happy. You will never catch me bemoaning anyone in the audience wanting to hear a song that I've written. It's like it's me.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, okay. So for students listening, just go hear live music. You get to be part of it with the artist. It's beautiful.
It is beautiful. I'm hooked on it.
Yeah. Well, let's jump in and listen. We're going to listen to 3 songs from folks from kind of all over the country. We are going to start with a song by Lindsay, who's from Nashville, where JT is now. And the song is called Pretty Boy. Lindsay is a college student who is working on songwriting a lot. So it's going to be a good one to kick off and just see what we hear. So I'll let you cue that up, Clayton.
We're okay, we're done.
Pretty boy lives in the city, noise always asphalt him. Pretty boy doesn't admit he's coy when he's been suffering. Pretty boy plays with his pretty toys just to feel whole again. And pretty boy makes me so dizzy, oh, and I'm just falling. I can't help it if I'm anxious when I'm looking at his face. snips on every track that passes by. And I know this won't be the last time I fall too deep into something I can little, ruin my life just to laugh and for a little, giving my all just to never even be a choice. Stay up all night for a call, it won't be breaking my heart, but at least it's entertaining. Here's one thing that I just can't avoid. I'm a sucker for a pretty boy. Pretty boy acts like he's busy joyriding on ignorance. Well, I could be sitting passenger seat, baby, I'm buckled in. He tells me I'm pretty, then tells me he's pretty indifferent. I should've known he's alone, cause he's so scared of commitment.
She's got out of a long term.
I've been running out of patience, hoping time would finally change him. 327 days, and I'm wondering how long I can stay living in this prison. My friends are trying hard to save me, but he's the only one who has the key. And I know he's not setting me free. I fall too deep into something I can little, ruin my life just to laugh him for a little, giving my all just to never even be a choice. Stay up all night for a call, he won't be breaking my heart, but at least it's entertaining. Here's one thing that I just can't avoid. I'm a sucker for a pretty boy. I'm a sucker for a pretty boy. Pretty eyes, pretty lies, I just wanna curl up and die. He's my oxygen supply. I hate the way I need him just to feel alive. Pretty boy, pretty unknown, anything to fill the void. Why do I even try? 'Cause this happens every time. Oh, I fall too deep into something I can little, ruin my life just to love him for a little, giving my all just to never even be a choice. Stay up all night for a call, he won't be breaking my heart, but at least it's entertaining. Here's one thing that I just can't avoid. I'm a sucker for a pretty boy. No, I'm a sucker for a pretty boy, pretty boy, pretty boy. Whoa. Pretty boy, pretty boy. Whoa. Here's one thing that I just can't avoid. I'm a sucker for a pretty boy.
Amazing. So fun, relatable, all of the good stuff. I'll just do like first reactions, and let's start with you, JT, on this one.
I mean, that's such an insanely catchy song. You know, I love how it just thematically, I love how it pulls the trick of, you know, it's a pretty hard observation of the pretty boy, pretty unflinching, but also like, you know, a reflection on self and looping behavior, but it manages to pull all that stuff off in this just really like incredibly catchy. And that's what best pop music does, right? It's like you go through you wade through the really hard, like kind of brutal truths about the way we operate in this world, but you have this catharsis of doing it in a 3-minute song that just gives you this release just by virtue of being what it is. You know, there's a lot of things I love about this tune. It's syllabically, it's very don't try this at home. Like there's so much packed in, and if you're gonna pack in that many syllables, you really better be on point with your phrasing, and she is. And so it becomes one of those things where the density of the phrasing, it's not a density, it's like an invitation to remember every single line, and that's what people are going to do, you know. And then just like coming back to the pretty boy is amazing. I also just want to shout out, I love that last little kind of pre-chorusy bridge thing where she changes the flow of the words, and I think that's such an important thing where she goes back to like the da 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 da. Like, I think, you know, because you've been in this you've established this kind of rapid fire sing-songy rhyme flow, and just coming out of that for a minute before you go back in is super satisfying and super high level. So well done.
I second all those emotions, and also that deadly line tells me I'm pretty and that he's pretty indifferent. I was like,
Good stuff. Yep.
it's so good. It's so good. And also, I just have to say the visuals for this make it so joyful because while you're singing about this ne'er-do-well pretty boy, who's been kind of stringing you along, you're having the best, like, bestie time with the sweetest
That's right.
girlfriend. I love it so much. Like, it was making me so happy watching the visuals coupled with that song that it felt like this, like, good medicine, songwriting as, like, exorcism of the stuff you don't want to keep anymore, the dude you don't want to keep anymore, and, moving on. So it was, but it's so, and I love, like, a joyful, catchy song about something that's hard. That's always, like, that's never not satisfying to me.
That's right. And you're right about the
That's
visuals.
great.
That's so
So
that's such a
joyful,
cool, like,
just delightful.
tension against and the production where it's like, at its heart, it's a folky acoustic song, but I love the little, like, subtle touches, like the synth pad in the back and the claps that can, that nudge it into a different sonic territory without, like, sacrificing the main deal.
Yeah. So good. And also,
so
congratulations to all of you on your songs being chosen. It's so fabulous and wonderful, and I'm proud to listen.
So high level, really, really great.
Really, really great.
Thanks, you guys. We're so lucky to have this community of young songwriters. So let's hear another one. This one, we try to go for some variety here, but they're all amazing. This one is called All Right Sunshine. It's by a young adult writer and producer out of Denver, close to where I live. So shout out Colorado. And this one, it's All Right Sunshine. So let's hear it.
Once you realize that all that you used to care so much about just keeps you a prisoner of your own mind.
Go trip over a
run through me, like what you wanna say, what you wanna do, like do you wanna play, what you wanna do, stink face, sticky leg and let's boogie, anxiety not allowed in this party, weekend, come leave your worries at home, everything will turn out better than you know, and if you're ever feeling alone, then just go, sunlight, it's alright, all day, all night, don't cry, sometimes. Just don't forget to run right. Sunlight, it's alright. All day, all night. When you've met your dark night, don't forget to get your mind right. We always worry about nothing. We always worry about nothing. We can't control the let go. Sunlight, baby, burn bright. Don't you go gently into your good night. You better go out, putting up that good fight. Being trouble make you wrong, but you're right. Hurting, grinding at the same time. Falling still fly, do you know what that's like? Only go up, but you stuck in that sky. See me take off, let me show you what's flight like. Sunshine, all day, all night. Sunlight, just fine. Sunshine, all day, all night. Sunlight.
All right, so I'll say like I need a whole album of that, and I need it by June so I can listen to it all summer.
So
It's so
hypnotic
great.
and grooving and hooky and beautiful, and like the key change at the end, I loved that. Like, it was so beautiful.
Yeah, I mean that is well, I mean there's a lot I could say about that. I mean, right off top, I love it's just a very talk about knowing, knowing the genre you're in, the things that are important from a songwriting standpoint in a dance-based genre might not hold true in another genre. Like, for instance, really trusting the simplicity and repetition of that chorus, like
Okay.
the more you don't want out of that. The loop is a beautiful thing, and that's like it's like I want to hear that all right sunshine all day. I like I'm there for as long, if it's 11 minutes I'm there, if it's 21 minutes I'm there. And so like trusting that as a producer writer is really strong. I also love how the emceeing aspect of it is still very contoured, and it's not just like bars for bars sake. It's connected to the song, and it's very
Yeah.
sculpted with a pop songwriter mentality, which I think that it's funny. I was referencing that, like, I came up listening to hip hop that used to be very absent. It used to be like you're just spitting. Like, you can tell every single line in the rap verses has importance, and it's very economical, and it's rhythmically economical. You can be right with it, so that just every little aspect is cool. I love the in this genre too, like every production choice is songwriting, every mix choice. I love how the low harmony is kind of up in the mix. It adds to that.
I love that too.
There's something really hypnotic about it. So like all those choices are like high level songwriting. So yeah, I want the like 41-minute club mix of this right now.
Same.
It's like it reminds me so much of Janelle Monáe for the reasons you're saying, of just like everything is connected. You never leave the same vibe that she's trying to create from like the start to the end. It's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful. I heard some Queen Latifah in there too, who just got inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Just saying.
Let's go. Allison, you have anything else you want to add?
I second all of the emotions, and I loved it. Like, I was just like in it and grooving and just feeling it from the jump, So good. With the sculpting that JT's talking about, the movement. It's funny, like I hear them almost like as movements, the choices of when to be melodic, when to be more rhythmic. Having that little like almost like leaving us just a little unsettled at the end with the key change, like just beautiful, but also expansive and cosmic. Like it was great.
As a couple of literature geeks, I cannot even believe we sort of buried the lead in that. We all know we need more Dylan Thomas references in hip hop and R&B. So I was like,
yeah. So for those of you who
good night.
Don't go gently into your good night.
That's
it's
right.
Really good.
That's right. Amazing. I love it. Yes. How do we not already say how much we appreciate a little drop, a little sprinkle of a quotation from a brilliant other.
But and it's a great check because it's like completely the vibe of the, it fits in with everything else she's doing. So super cool. You don't have to know it.
Yeah, definitely. But it's an Easter egg for sure.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Amazing. Well, we have one more, and this song is by Lily. Lily is 9 years old. She's in 3rd grade. The song is called Let Me Be Me, and she wrote all of the words and everything, and her teacher, Alex, helped her produce and record it. So let's listen to Let Me Be Me.
People were once in my head telling me what to do. I know I'm weird, it is true. I want them to let me be me, but they won't. focus on what they wanna see. I am independent, let me be me. I won't listen to judgments, I will proceed. People might think I'm crazy, weird too maybe, but I won't listen to those crazy not me's. Just let me be me. They should leave me alone. I've got a life of my own. They really wanna see, but first let me be me. I am independent. Let me be me. I won't listen to judgments. I will proceed. People might think I'm crazy, weird too maybe, but I won't listen to those crazy not me's. I am independent, let me be me. I won't listen to judgments, I will proceed. People might think I'm crazy, weird too maybe, but I won't listen to those crazy not me's. Just let me be me.
I'm
It's
just like
so wonderful and
casually just
joyful and affirming. And also that is going to be like my internal clap back at anyone saying anything, untoward towards me. I'm not going to listen to those crazy not me. That's my new clap back to everything. It's so joyful and empowered and fabulous and wonderful. Like just so good, Lily. My gosh. Cheering over here.
I love the weird two maybe. Weird two maybe. So great.
So
So great.
good.
And just like, I
So
mean,
good.
I often think that, it's like when we're younger, we are more in touch with essential vocal hooks that then we have to like get back to after we learn a bunch of stuff. And like just that opening, the way she sings, I am independent. So great.
yeah.
That's like so great.
It's like anthemic. It's totally anthem.
Yeah,
Maybe me.
So
Like,
come
yeah,
on.
totally anthemic.
Gold.
Yeah.
Gold, Lily.
And the way that it stacks at the end, so you feel like there's like a chorus of like, it's like, oh, and now we're all called to like embrace our inner child. And here we are, we're all
Yes.
doing it.
I mean, I was
Yeah.
already stacking before they started.
It's like an instant sing along as well. Like,
Yeah.
so good and so like just joyful and empowered and I love your voice, Lily. Oh my goodness.
And
What it just
whoever was it the teacher at school helping with
Yeah. Alex.
yeah, they did an
Lady
amazing
Alex.
job. Yeah. Yeah, they did an amazing job.
Yeah, beautiful stuff. I cannot think of like a better way for us to conclude than on this and just, that message of be yourself, don't listen to judgments, proceed, let people think you're crazy, let people think you're weird, go out and write some songs, just
Be
be
you.
yourself. Yeah.
You're the only you. No one can be you. No one else is you. And, those crazy not me's can't tell you what to do or what to write.
Well, I will say thank you again so much, Allison and JT, for being here and just talking about songwriting and talking about making things and just supporting our students. We know that songwriting and creativity is just a gift that we have access to at any time. So for all of you who are writing songs, just keep allowing yourself to do that. For the teachers who are listening, thank you for all the work you do to make this accessible for students and supporting them right where they're at and helping them on their journey. So
Yeah, we're
thanks,
so
teachers.
grateful. It's your,
Yeah.
Keep doing your human birthright, making art. You're all amazing.
Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Appreciate y'all so much.
Bye.